Nothing says Southern California like a nice green lawn. But did you know that trimmers, leaf blowers, and mowers are about to surpass cars as the #1 source of pollution in Southern California? In this joint reporting project with Fair Warning, we found little oversight of the health risks of these gas-powered machines.
It's that time of year again. Even in sunny Southern California, the temperature is dropping, the days are getting shorter, the leaves are falling, and that means blowing them away. Everyone, it seems, complains about leaf blowers. Some cities restrict or even outlaw their use, but just try keeping track of all the rules.
What is the problem? The dust? Or what? Yeah. Oh, it's political. Yeah, I don't understand.
But it turns out noise pollution isn't the biggest health problem created by gas leaf blowers. There's a much more insidious hazard, one that can't be heard or even seen. And the gardeners who keep our yards pristine are breathing it every day. And so are you.
Within a few years, there'll be more of the chemicals that produce smog coming from these machines, meaning leaf blowers, mowers, and other gas-powered lawn and gas equipment, than all the cars do. Now, that's a staggering thought.
The California Air Resources Board says it's worse than most people can imagine.
If you run that leaf blower for 1 hour, it's equivalent to driving a new car 1,100 miles, or the same distance as from Los Angeles to Denver.
We worked with the investigative journalists at Fair Warning, who commissioned a study on the emissions.
Some of the readings we got were really startling. In one case, we found that the level of ultrafine particles was 50 times higher near a landscaping worker who was using a leaf blower than it was standing by a very busy intersection.
Because ultrafine particles are so tiny, they're easy to inhale, and they have serious health effects. And they stay in your system indefinitely.
They can penetrate into the bloodstream and cause all sorts of health effects, pulmonary issues, and then the toxics like the benzene have been recognized as carcinogens.
Fine particulate matter has been researched in many different locations over many decades and has been linked to a variety of health conditions, including increased risk for heart disease and respiratory diseases.
In the next few years, gas blowers and mowers will surpass passenger cars as the top source of smog-forming emissions, according to state data. That's a big reason why the California Air Resources Board is considering adopting tougher rules than the current federal regulations the state now follows.
We think we're at that tipping point right now. So we have recognized that these are polluting sources, we have regulated them, and we are actually in the middle of a rulemaking process right now.
And that's not going over well with the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute, a trade association for the $10 billion landscaping equipment industry.
They've been resistant to the change. They've raised many, many objections, and one after another. And, they're concerned about economic consequences and the like.
The group keeps track of cities that consider legislation restricting landscaping equipment. In a filing earlier this year, OPI fought proposed regulations accusing the California Regulatory Agency of a failure to address the true costs of tougher rules. The agency disagrees.
In the long run, this equipment is less expensive to run and operate for many commercial businesses.
We reached out to the landscaping industry trade group, but did not get a response. Some cities, including Los Angeles, have even banned all leaf blowers, but the laws are rarely enforced. Meanwhile, many gardeners inhale dangerous particulates all day, every day, without any kind of protection. The gardeners we talked to said they aren't aware of any dangers.
I don't feel sick with the gas, with the blower,
But the longer the exposure, the greater the risk, especially for workers who don't use protective equipment. Jeff Keenan knows there are dangers. He's been in the business for 25 years. He says gas power is just about one thing: speed.
We go to house, in 7 houses a day, and we need to have the power to move our material really fast so we can get these jobs done really quick.
I tried one of his gas blowers, and it literally blew me away. And even more stunning is the fact that he also has a powerful clean energy electric blower on his truck that he rarely uses.
Why don't you use it?
Till this particular city becomes regulated where you can only use electric.
The electric ones where you have to.
Yes. I have to have it on my truck because I may go into an area that is, by law, you have to have electric.
There is a cleaner, greener alternative, but like Jeff, most gardeners are still hesitant to use it.
We do have a fix, and the fix is electric machines.
And eliminating the polluting effects of gas equipment could go way beyond helping landscapers. Gas motors contaminate neighborhoods, communities, and our environment too.
We're trying to create that environment here in our city. Anybody can come to our parks and enjoy a day at the park and not take home a lungful of particulate matter.
Perfection is part of the problem.
People have come to expect things to look like you can eat off of the ground, and that actually damages the entire ecology.
Dan Mabe grew up in the gardening industry.
The pollution was so bad, you cannot breathe. You can literally not breathe. We've coined the term outdoor sweatshop because of all of the exposures that they experience every single day.
He decided to become a landscaping disruptor to advocate for more affordable and cleaner technology.
We're still waiting for this industry to be recognized of the exposures to the workers.
Unlike other low-wage immigrant workforces like farm workers and hotel employees, so far no one has organised gardeners to fight for better conditions.
We are astonished of how they can even keep their work going because sometimes it comes out to less than minimum wage when you really add up all the hours.
Even though gardeners suffer most of the ill effects of gas-powered equipment, they often don't have the resources to improve their conditions, despite the invaluable service they provide.
Understand that this workforce is responsible for wealth retention and growth, because when you have commercial properties or you're going to sell your home, there's lots of profits being made in the real estate industry.
He's now fighting for zero-emission landscaping equipment for gardeners through AGS's certification program, but it's a tough sell.
The industry has come to rely on that one tool to really make things look perfect.
He started with one city willing to give electric a try, the city of South Pasadena, now the nation's first AGSA green zone. The gardeners who work for South Pasadena's landscaping contractor said they were skeptical that the new electric equipment could get the job done.
The biggest difference, I think, in these equipment is actually the noise, the smell of gas. The power was a little bit less.
But there are advantages.
I used to be on gas equipment. At the end of the day, I still hearing the noise on my ears, and now it is a big difference. But we don't have to go into our own cars and smelling like gas.
South Pasadena's mayor admits the transition wasn't easy.
It's change. With anybody, change is difficult, especially in this industry. A lot of these workers have been doing this for 25, 30 years.
Manufacturers are just starting to introduce more cost-effective zero-emission equipment. And the California Air Resources Board is hopeful it will catch on.
We would really like to see a phase out of internal combustion lawn and garden equipment in the coming years. We think there's an opportunity here to leapfrog and simply move towards electric equipment.
But there's also change coming down from the federal level towards less regulation. And that means fewer incentives for manufacturers and local governments to go electric. So ultimately, it may be up to homeowners to embrace green alternatives too.
Although the most direct impact of these machines in particular would be for landscaping workers, it's a public health issue for all of us.